Okay, hello there, welcome to episode 11 of AlansBMX TV. Just going to talk a little bit today about complete bikes. We have a lot of people coming in not really understanding what the difference is between a £100 bike and a £1,000 bike, because they all look the same, they've got small wheels. So if you're kind of new to the sport and you want a little bit of an insight into what the differences are and why the dearer bikes command more money, I'll do this to be able to explain that. We've just reorganised all the bikes into the shop into price order, so I'm going to start at the smallest and also the cheapest bikes, and we'll go through and I'll try to remember what all the differences are as we go along. We're starting here at this end. We've got 16-inch wheel bike. This is a Hoffman. A lot of people make them, GT, Mongoose, a ton of other companies. Obviously for smaller, younger riders. Just trying to think how old my kids were when they had this. Probably, I think, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 maybe. As a rule, you don't need to confuse them with like a normal kid's bike. So if they've been riding a kid's 18-inch wheel bike, if they were getting a BMX bike, you might be better off with a 16. The next step up from that, logically, is the 18. These have become increasingly popular in the last few years. Although a lot of kids, you know, under 10 can still ride an 18-inch wheel bike, the 18-inch wheel bike is a lot better for the skate park. So if you're going to get your kid a bike which was more for proper riding, I would say go with the 18. The only drawback to the 18s compared to some of the cheaper 20s is they have got a little bit, they are a little bit more expensive. You know, you're looking at over 200 quid. Come on, Chris. Chris is just clocking in. Right, okay. There is another option to the 18-inch, and that is the likes of the Mongoose Mini Motivator. 20-inch wheel bike, but it's got a lower standover height, as you can see here, a shorter crank, and lower handlebars. So it's the same pretty much as the regular Mongoose Motivator with those differences. So if you had, you know, a kid who wanted to just ride around on the street but wanted a 20-inch wheel bike but wanted it to fit a little bit better, Mini Motivators cock on for that basically. Then you start moving into 20-inch wheel bikes. This is a Mongoose Subject, one-piece cranks, steel frame, all decent kind of components, fairly solid bike with a good brand, it's been going for many years. And just for a BMX bike, just riding around, paper around, just messing about with your mates, fine. If you wanted to ride park, you might move a little bit further up the range. You see here, these have got the original older large sprockets which aren't really suitable for riding ramps, whatever it is, 44, 42 or something like that. Up from that, GT Slammer, a little bit better spec again, still with a one-piece crank. It's got 14mm axles front and back. And then moving up again from that, you've got things like GT Zone, you're over 200 quid now, and these have got a three-piece crank. Right, continuing on, once you start getting over £200, you'll go to probably 613 gearing with a traditional screw-on freewheel on the back. As you start to move again, mid 200s, slightly more, you might be moving into the territory of 3312. It's got a cassette hub on the back, but it's got a 33 two-sprocket on the front. And if you think, you know, traditionally the bike's at a 44/16, and the smallest that we have now on a complete bike is probably 25/9. Just so you know about the gearing, the ratios are all the same though, they're all 2.75 to 1, so just by putting a smaller sprocket on the front, that isn't really a solution if you bought a bike. You'd have to change the rear wheel to be able to maintain the gear ratio, otherwise you'll have kind of like a very low geared trials bike type of thing. So yeah, once you get into the mid 200s, you might start getting chrome moly in the frame. Chrome moly tubing is the stuff that's used in the aftermarket frames, better qualities, lighter and stronger. And you might find a frame that's got a chrome moly down tube or a chrome moly top tube, or sometimes it's referred to as tri-moly, where you've got a chrome moly top tube, down tube and head tube perhaps. Usually the frames have got a sticker on the seat tube telling you this. In recent times the manufacturers have been a little bit more ambiguous, shall we say, with regards to chrome moly content, especially with the increases in the material costs etc. in the Far East. But generally the more chrome moly it's got, the lighter the bike's going to be. So these sort of prices, 250 to 300, you're going to be looking at more chrome moly in the frame and probably 3312. Obviously there are exceptions to this rule. For example here, this is Mongoose Roll, this is probably quite typical. Tubular three-piece crank, 3312 with a cassette hub and a chrome moly frame, and whatever these are, around 300 quid now. Oh, there's a bike here that's out of order, sorry about that, it's just got put in here, so that's kind of thrown us a little bit, so just kind of ignore that one a minute. Again, moving up, when you start getting into the above 300, you might be looking at sealed bottom bracket, sealed cartridge bottom bracket rather than the traditional cage bearings. They are a big advantage because of a lot less maintenance. You haven't got an issue with the cranks coming loose. You've probably still, got loose ball hubs around this sort of price as well. This is a Miraco Black Pearl, about 350. We've reviewed this before in a video last time or the time before, so you're going to know all about that if you've seen it. You've typically got 2810 gearing at this sort of price point, or possibly even 25.9, and 350 upwards. You're probably going to be getting an all chrome molly. You're certainly going to be getting an all chrome molly frame as well. Some better components, maybe some branded parts like this has got Odyssey tyres, for example. Continuing on through the price into the 350s and 400s, what you're going to be expecting for that sort of money is an all chrome molly frame, tubular 3-piece crank, sealed bottom bracket, sealed hubs front and back, and typically 25.9 gearing. So fairly pro level bike that's capable of riding the skate park and certainly some more serious riding. We have seen with the improvements in the bikes the last few years, I think people have been looking at bikes in maybe the mid 200s, looking at them visually and looking at the sprockets and everything else, and assuming that they are the same as a pro level £700 bike. And although visually they may look it, obviously they haven't got the features and the quality of the dearer bikes. So again, moving on to that, moving into the 400, this is the Fit Trail 2, the second model in the range. Again, probably similar specs to the We The People. It's got a 40mm front axle on this. Incidentally, if you look at the bikes here, some have got a front brake on them and some of them haven't. For us to sell them in the UK, they have all got to have a front brake fitted, whether or not. Just so that you know, if you're looking for a bike specific with a front brake, when they leave here, or we send them out mail order, they will all come with a front brake. Slightly out of order again here. These are about 400 quid. This is one of the new United completes. Colours are pretty different. Graphics I think are awesome. The specs quite good for what they are. 3 models in this range as well. This is a Miracle that's kind of got slotted in out of order slightly, which is £2.99. It looks like it's got 2810 gearing on it. As we go on from here, we're looking at, again, still all the same specification again, but maybe some more branded parts. For example, this King, you've got a pivotal seat on here, pivotal seat and post. That's going to save you some weight. And the other thing that I haven't really mentioned that much is, as you start to go up here now, you're definitely coming down in weight. You're probably looking at bikes down at that end nearer to £30, and down at this end £20. So it's quite a big weight saving. Obviously, the lighter the bike is, it's definitely the easier it is to ride, and that applies to the smaller and lighter riders more than anybody else, obviously. So yeah, at this point you start going pivotal seats, maybe some more branded parts on there, maybe Odyssey tyres, that type of thing. Right at the very end here, we've got the last one of those Colony Endeavour completes that we did. It's all aftermarket parts, just the aftermarket bloody old frame, fully heat treated, and they're over £800. Those. Your other option is to build a complete bike out of parts, which we can do for you, and the luxury of being able to do that is you can choose the frame size and you're able to choose all your own components and your colours. But obviously it's a lot more expensive than even buying one of these ready-built complete bikes that you see here. But if you look on the website, there's a little link sort of towards the top right-hand side that says Custom Bike Builder. It downloads a little Microsoft Excel file that you can fill in, email to us. We'll check all compatibility, get back to you, and we can go ahead and build a complete bike for you. If you've got any other questions, don't hesitate, give us a call or send us an email. Thank you very much.